crypto and NFT markets are bouncing back extremely well, especially during these uncertain times. So in this video, I'm gonna show you who the builders are. And even with all the uncertainty, there are always gonna be the teams that are constantly building. So I'm gonna share with you some of the best projects that are gonna be coming out soon. All right, first thing we're gonna start off with is we're gonna look at the Fear Greed Index, and this can be found on alternative.me. Just literally like a couple days ago, we were at 25, so the more it's on the left side, people are very fearful, the prices are really down, and now it just bounced from 25 all the way to 50. So now things can change depending on what news comes out and people's confidence levels. We've seen how quickly things can change just 1 week ago. This is just showing that now people are more confident than they were just a few days ago. And now if we're looking at the macro crypto markets, we see that Bitcoin and Ethereum and a lot of the altcoins are starting to come up again. Ethereum dropped quite a bit during the news that happened a few days ago, and so now it's coming back up. And so with the price of Ethereum going back up, the question is, will people reinvest back into NFTs? Maybe, maybe not. It's honestly a coin flip at this point, but I want to show you some of the best projects you should be looking at either way. The first one we're going to be talking about is going to be Phantom Network, and I did a whole video on the Nanoverse ecosystem, and Phantom Network was one of them. And at the time, there wasn't much information about it, but now there is. So we have some of the trailers coming out. So they have like an anime, futuristic city kind of vibe, right? And so pretty cool that they're doing these animations and not just like putting out a picture profile, but they're creating a brand and IP and story around it. Not only that, but then when we're looking at some of the teaser for the art, this probably will be one of the legendary ones because it has all the graphics and it's like a GIF that's moving. It's pretty cool. I would say that for a certain market that likes that Asian Western style mixed together, I think this definitely can hit, especially because they already have like the whole support of like Nanoverse pushing into this project. So I think it's definitely gonna sell out, and I'm pretty sure the floor price will be pretty decent once it does. They also updated their website. At the moment, there's really not much you can do. It's kind of like old school kind of look, but it's kind of cool, that they put in the effort to make something different, not just like using a template that everyone else is using, but designing something like that's a little bit more unique. So I respect that. And we'll see how this turns out as they add more information and as they give more updates on the project. And for this particular trailer, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a trailer or a music video, but Dumbfounded is a rapper that I actually really liked back when I was in high school. I actually freestyled with him when I was a kid before. He just like showed up to this random thing. He's definitely a cool guy. I definitely was a fan of him. I guess I would still be a fan of him. I guess this is gonna be a collaboration between Dumbfounded, PXN, and Double Plus, and Double Plus is going to be a studio. It's animation and like music, sound effects, studio, recording, mixer, master. So probably it's gonna be like a music video teaser kind of thing to promote the project. So that's pretty cool that they're not just like putting it out there and being like, hey guys, buy it right now, but they're actually spending money and time and collaborating with like legit people and artists to create something a little bit more unique than other projects. And I think that really separates them, especially when it comes to just the amount of effort they put into when they don't really have to. And on the topic of Dumbfounded, which is, a rapper that I do like, he actually is coming out with a NFT project, and it's gonna be called Neighborheadz. So it definitely has that 2D, 90s style, kind of like Maple Story style, which is, nostalgic for a lot of people. Grew up during that time. And the website itself is pretty cool. They got some trade stories. They want to support artists and local businesses. So I guess they're really big on like supporting their people locally, which is pretty cool, right? I mean, the name itself is called Neighborheadz. It looks like, they're really focusing on experiences in real life. So like hidden local menus, secret gatherings, a lot of real life event stuff. It seems like a lot of people are involved in this project. I'm not really familiar with who these people are, but Dumbfounded himself is a doxed person, so that's definitely good. Honestly, it's really unclear of like how successful this project would be, but just because I'm a fan of Dumbfounded and I used to really like him when I was a kid, or not really a kid, but a teenager, I definitely just want to give him a shout out over there. So the next NFT we're going to be talking about is the iconic #1 superstar future blue chip, and that is going to be Kevin. So as we talked about last time, Kevin, a lot of people were buying this NFT as a meme because Pixelmon pretty much was a flop in a sense. And then everybody's just wanted to gravitate towards Kevin because it was like the species, Kevin. And it was just so funny that everybody started buying this. So because of that, the price of Kevin, the floor is 5.75. This last person bought it for 4.25. So people are actually buying it. I'm not saying to buy it because like these memes can go up and down. So just be very careful if you're gonna think about buying any of this stuff. And not only that, but like already people are starting to come out with like these meme collection of Kevin. We got the mother effer Kevins over here, and we have the only Kevins over here, and people are actually like buying this, I guess. It's quite interesting that like, just like a random meme can become so much something bigger. Could this be a mainstream meme that stays for the long term? You don't choose the meme chooses you. So like nobody really knows. I just thought it was pretty funny that all this money is moving into this project when it's really just a joke. And one note on that, if you really know how to trade on these type of memes, 99% of these memes are gonna go up and they're gonna disappear like pretty quickly. But if you know how to trade and get in early and see the signs and see the volume, that's definitely an opportunity opportunity that I've seen a lot of people make money in. Personally for me, that's not really my forte, but I definitely have seen other people successfully do it. And by the way, if you want some up-to-date alpha, make sure to join my Discord. The Parallax link is in the description, and that's where you're also gonna be finding out about my secret NFT that is coming out. So next project that we're coming out, and I believe it's minting as we speak. It might completely minted out by the time you see this video, or maybe it's still in the public mint. I'm not gonna be sure. It's called Shibuya. So Shibuya is basically a platform, and one of the co-founders is going to be People Pleaser, who is an artist who really recognizable in the art space. She has the Pleaser DAO, and so she supports a lot of artists. So essentially, you know, reading through the medium that they put out and everything, they came to the conclusion that a lot of like talented manga artists and anime artists don't really get paid that much in Japan, or basically all over the world, right? And it's because there's such a big supply of them, and the industry is in a place where it's kind of gatekept, where you don't have a lot of options, so you're gonna take the low pay because that's the only option that you have. So instead of having these artists go through these gatekeepers and just like basically live on fan art and doing commissions, they want to build a platform where, you know, more money can be distributed towards the artist. You know, it's like crowdfunding in a sense, instead of going directly to the studios that make these things. And because of Web3 and NFTs and everything like that, you have a bigger opportunity to make more money because the business model is completely different. So Shibuya, you know, they're gonna have like, I believe like some kind of NFT pass. It's not a picture profile project as they're saying. Again, like there's not much information on their Twitter, so you have to go on their Discord to like learn, you know, in depth on exactly what they're doing and all that stuff. And the first pilot anime series they're gonna be putting out is called White Rabbit. You know, not much information about it, but you know, they have a little teaser about it, and you know, it's got some good animation. I mean, it's a little choppy in my opinion. Like I think the frame rate is kind of low. Again, maybe I'm not an anime expert, but whatever. But yeah, that's the first project, and they're kind of taking it slow, you know, building a platform, and we'll see where this goes, right? So it's definitely something you should check out if you are into supporting anime, manga artists who are doing this kind of work. Now, the next project we are talking about is going to be Interfaces. Now, I did talk about this project maybe like a month or two ago. They have these really good 3D picture arts, but at the time, what I said was like, they have a lot of art, but they're saying they're making no promises, there's no roadmap, what's gonna happen, it's just like an expensive picture. And so because there are so many scams coming out and so many people just selling expensive stuff and not really delivering, this project and this team decided to shut down their project, even though if they put it out, they probably could have made millions just from selling these expensive pictures, but I think they did the right thing. They weren't in the position to, you know, build this whole NFT Web3 brand. They kind of just wanted to do a fun project that just built a lot of hype, you know, because everyone's hungry for this kind of stuff. So they shut it down because, you know, it is a lot of pressure to be a founder, and especially when you're doxxed. When the price goes down, everybody blames you, and then when the price goes up, everybody thinks they're a genius because they're a great investor. So it's like, you know, being a founder in the NFT space, there is a lot of pressure. So I respect that they shut it down instead of just cash grabbing millions, and I think more teams should really think about that if they want to think about a long-term career in the NFT space versus just a cash grab. The next project we're gonna be talking about is going to be Alex Becker's project, and it's by his studio, Super Shotgun Games. Now, there's not a lot of information about what game he's exactly building, but recently he put out a tweet. He's offering some prize money to find, you know, a top tier concept art director who can match this kind of style that he's going for, right? So I guess it definitely matches that Neo Tokyo style, you know, kind of matches his NFT that he built before. And then now he's doing like a gaming project. So, you know, I'm pretty interested to see how this turns out. And why I want to bring this up is because like, even though there's not much information about this project, it's important to look at how builders are building, because it's not about what they say. A lot of times it's about what they do, right? They're basically looking for an art director, and they're willing to give them a percentage of the game, right? So that's pretty cool, and supposedly gonna be worth millions. And it's possible, right? Because Neo Tokyo is worth millions, so I don't see why another game won't be. And then when you go onto the website and you know, press apply now, and you see like, you know, the different roles that they have, art director, CTO. It's interesting because in the art director section, they give you an explanation of like what they're looking for. Then they give you a Google Doc of like how exactly the game's gonna go about. So if you want like alpha of like what the game is, sometimes you just look at the career website and they're literally explaining in exact detail of what they're looking for, so you have an idea of what's gonna come out before they actually announce it. From what I can tell, they're taking two different games. They're taking Breath of the Wild and Metroid Dread. They're taking that kind of style for the environment. And then for the character design, they're using this game called Theory, which is a Steam game, and it's actually super popular on Steam. It's a very simple game with a very simple gameplay loop where people can just keep replaying it, and level up their character. What I find really interesting is that if you look at the games that are gonna be popular in the future, if you're trying to build like a massive multiplayer online game, like an MMO, like MapleStory or World of Warcraft, that's literally gonna take you years to build, right? I think what Alex is doing is he's saying like, instead of just building like a big old game that's impossible to finish, why not just build a very simple game, very simple gameplay mechanics, but very smooth and it feels good, and people have that gameplay loop where they want to keep playing over and over and over and over. If you think about like a game like Dota, for example, it's the same game over and over. It's like chess, but then there's so many variations and styles to play depending on what items you want to use, what characters you want to use, how your character fits against fighting another character. And so I think these simple gameplay loops are going to be very important for play to earn games for 2022. And it's not just Alex's game, it's like any game really. And also if you look at like the inspiration behind the game, right? If he is taking character design elements from this, let's say he's taking gameplay design, which I have no idea. Like I see a lot of people just copying other games that already work in the mainstream market and turning it into NFTs. So it's not really like a new concept. It's just taking something over here, putting it over here, adding the NFT element, changing the skins, and there you go. It's a new game, right? So we're gonna see a lot of that in 2022. So you wanna be careful of like what's a scam and what's people are building, but you know, those are the things I wanted to cover. And speaking of NFT games, we're gonna talk about Illegal Trades and his Imposters. And like I said before, simple gameplay loops are gonna be very important. So Imposters is basically the play off of Among Us, right? Very simple gameplay loop. They can play it over and over, but when you add those elements of NFTs, play to earn, tokens, skins, then it becomes an entirely different game with play to earn mechanics. Think about it like Fortnite, for example. It's a huge game, one of the biggest in the world, and it's a very simple gameplay loop. Everybody comes into an island, they kill each other, last one standing wins, and you do it over and over and over again. Imposters and in Among Us, the same thing, and whatever Alex is building, probably the same thing as well. So those are the key things I would be looking for in terms of like investing in NFT games. Like, what is a game that people can actually finish? If they're saying they're gonna build this MMO, you gotta understand like MMOs are the hardest type of games to build. And even if you spend like 5 years on it, it doesn't mean it will even be successful. So that's always the danger of MMOs. And then the update on Imposters is that, you know, before they were gonna do this thing for 3 ETH and then they have a Dutch auction and everyone's like, oh my God, that's so expensive because of Pixelmon, right? This is the post-Kevin era essentially where high prices will, you know, be questioned, whereas before they weren't. So now they dropped the price to 1 Ethereum and that's much better, right? And that's more reasonable for LEO Trades audience and things like that. So, you know, definitely something to check out as well if you're into that. Make sure to follow me on Twitter to get up-to-date info on everything I'm looking at, and I'll see you guys in the next one.